Try to imagine changing companions every year or so. Just when you get used to someone else's oddness or uniqueness, you change companions. If you loved being with them, it separates you. Try to imagine what it's like never to get a warm hug, a passionate kiss, or a tender look. No playing footsie in bed, a shoulder to cry on, or a hand to hold when comfort is needed. Unless, of course, you have a double life and wear a mask and are not who you appear to be. The friends with benefits thing has to happen in secret. Try to imagine pretending you have no needs or wants or desires for intimacy with another human being, a friendship or a romance. Try to imagine people expecting you to be celibate, but you satisfy your deep hunger and addictions in secret whenever you can find some internet and privacy to do so. Try to imagine being gay or lesbian and thinking going into the work will either cure you or give you a playing field. Try to imagine being a drug, alcohol, or sex addict and think being in the work will cure that too. Try to imagine never having emotional intimacy or deep, stirring conversations, never being known or knowing someone else deeply. Try to imagine packing a suitcase often, as infrequently, staying a few nights, always with unfamiliar people, in a home with animals and children and habits that aren't yours. Try to imagine only having privacy in a bedroom you also share with your companion. Never being alone would be hard for an introvert. Your time is not your time. Try to imagine needing to borrow a car and being responsible for it, hoping someone gives you gas money or their credit card, just enough for the day. Try to imagine sitting with strangers at 3 meals a day and having surface conversations on repeat, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. I can imagine wanting to escape this torture. Try to imagine having to sneak away secretly to have time for yourself. Try to imagine not having any continuing hobbies or a place to do them, never being able to fulfill that innate creative desire. Try to imagine not having any permission to visit family or make memories with them. Yearly worker pictures do not a family make. No Kodak moment, year-round family pictures with you in it because you're not there. Try to imagine never dreaming of or having a real fun vacation of your own choosing. Try to imagine living on the dole, getting and never getting back, because the hostess won't ever let you cook, do the dishes, clean the toilet, or do your dirty linens. Try to imagine never skiing, swimming, jogging, ice skating, hiking, kayaking, going to the gym, roller skating, playing soccer, volleyball, baseball, tennis, football, basketball, or pickleball, or any other sport on a regular basis just for pure enjoyment. Try to imagine not being able to write that book, knit that sweater, walk your dog, dance naked in the rain, record that song you wrote, the music and lyrics to, or go to your favorite singer's concert or Broadway play. Try to imagine convention preps being the only highlight of your entire year. Try to imagine being sad or ill or depressed or fatigued, and none of these things are okay to talk about. Try to imagine having no agency over your own life. Try to imagine being harmed or hurt by a peer or coworker with authority over you, and you can't tell anyone about it. Try to imagine dreading the new day with the same routine but different people. Try to imagine waking up and not being allowed to do what you most want to do. Try to imagine thinking you need to try to kill the desire for sex, children, a home, a family, adventures, creativity, education, and a permanent covenant with a loving spouse. Try to imagine having no way out, no help when you leave the work, no money to start over, no social security, no way to get housing, no education or work experience to help you find a job. Try to imagine the only option seems like staying and growing into an old and feeble person that has to depend completely on the government to live a meager existence. Try to imagine admitting that you made a terrible mistake, deciding to go into the work, and you wish your life was different, and you wish for a better ending than the one ahead of you. Try to imagine wanting to finish well and not having that as an option. Alone is a terrible thing to be. Try to imagine that point at which you realize that God didn't require this tragic sacrifice that robbed you of a normal life. How does one reconcile this and come to terms with it before it's too late? Try to imagine being a minister of an aberrant gospel that isn't good news, one that lies about the origins, and one has to keep lying to keep it all afloat. Try to imagine being a minister of the one true way and being content merely to maintain the flock and never evangelize to the lost and worldly. Try to imagine how it feels to see hundreds, then thousands of friends leave the system and seem mad that feels so sad, and you can't talk about it. Try to imagine the utter discouragement of living by lies and deception. Try to imagine knowing full well that this system of belief cannot and will not ever be fixed. It can't. You know this, and yet you are powerless to change it for the better, especially if you are a young sister worker. Try to imagine having the courage to walk away and say, not I. I won't live like this 1 second longer. Lord, help me, please. And Lord, I ask that you would bring your mighty wrath down on those who groomed me, trafficked me, used me, and robbed me.